Hello everyone, welcome to today's session of paper discussion, chemistry part test 8. Okay, the very first question here we are having is question number 51, in which it is asking at 540 Kelvin, 0.1 mole of PCl5 are heated in a 8 liter flask. The pressure of equilibrium is found to be 1 atm. Calculate Kp for the reaction. Okay, so first thing is some data is given for PCl5 reaction, dissociation reaction, and we need to come to the Kp expression. Okay, so for this first of all what we'll be doing, we'll just simply write down, just a second. Okay, we will just simply write down dissociation reaction of PCl5, which will be simply coming what? PCl5 gaseous. It will be giving us what? PCl3 gas. Along with that, it will be giving us Cl2 gas. Now, if dissociation reaction is written here, first of all, we are starting with 0.1 mole. So, can I write this? T is equal to 0. We are having a 0.1 mole of PCl5, and then anyhow we need to talk about Kp, which is equilibrium constant in terms of pressure, right? So we need to write data for T is equal to T equilibrium. So let us suppose some X mole of PCl5 is dissociated. So the leftover amount of PCl5 will be what? It will be 0.1 minus X, and X mole of PCl3 as well as X mole of Cl2 will be forming here. Now at T is equal to T equilibrium, if I see the total number of moles, it will be what? 0.1 minus X plus 2X, so it will be simply coming what? It will be coming 0.1 plus X. What is this? I am writing a total number of moles which will be present at equilibrium, and next we have to give a Kp value. So for this I have to write a Kp expression. A Kp expression will be what? Partial pressure of products divided by partial pressure of the reactant. So if I write for PCl3, it will be simply a mole fraction of PCl3. Mole fraction means X divided by 0.1 plus X into capital P, where capital P is the total pressure which is there at equilibrium. Although it's given 1 atm, for now I am just trying to find out the general expression. In the end I will put capital P value. And for Cl2 also you will be writing what? X divided by 0.1 plus X into capital P divided by for PCl5. For PCl5 what will be the value? You will be having mole fraction which will be 0.1 minus X divided by 0.1 plus X into capital P. Now when you will be simplifying it, you will see capital P will be cancelling out, 0.1 plus X will be cancelling out, and what will be left with? X square divided by what? Divided by 0.1 square minus X square into capital P. And capital P pressure at equilibrium is given 1 atm. So after simplification what we are getting? We are just getting Kp, which will be equal to what? X square divided by 0.1 square minus X square. Now if Kp expression is coming like this, so definitely we would require what? Value of X, and X is simply the amount, the number of moles PCl5 has dissociated. Okay, for this also some data is being provided. I hope you can see that at temperature 540 Kelvin and 8 liter flask we are having. So in this case we can just simply apply what? PV is equal to nRT. Pressure is 1, volume is 8, N at equilibrium how many moles we are having? We are having 0.1 plus X. R value will be what? 0.08 and capital T will be 540. And now when we'll be solving it, we'll have to do this calculation. For now let me just quickly do it with calculator, and we'll be coming to the value of X here. Just a second. Okay, so for this we'll be having 0.082 into what? 540. It is coming 44.28. So 8 divided by 44.28. It is coming around 0.18. So 0.18 is equal to what? 0.1 plus x, and further x will be simply coming what? It will be coming 0.08. So now if we are having x value, what we are left with? We can just simply substitute this value in the Kp expression. So what we'll be getting? We will be getting 0.08 square divided by what? Divided by 0.1 square minus 0.08 square. And if we'll be solving it further, it will be what? Let me solve it in upside only, because we do not have space. So it will be 64 into 10 raised to power minus 4 divided by you'll be having 10 raised to power minus 2 minus what? 64 into 10 raised to power minus 4. When you will simplify it, okay. So above you will be having 64 into 10 raised to power minus 4 divided by what we'll be having? We will be having 36 into 10 raised to power minus 4. So 10 raised to power minus 4 will be cancelling out, and when we will be solving 64 by 36, it should be coming around 64 by 37, right? It will be coming around 64 by 36. It will be coming around 1.77. So what will be the final value of Kp here? The final value will be coming 1.77 atm. So when we need to understand for this question, simple reaction is there, though we are having PCl5 dissociation reaction, and how we are making use of the data? They are asking us to give the value of Kp, and for finding out Kp, we need to write down the expression in terms of partial pressure, and for which we can start with initial moles minus dissociated moles and giving us Kp expression. And in order to find out the value of x, we are making use of PV is equal to nRT, giving us very simple value of x, and then after substituting it, it is also pretty easy calculation, and it will be coming around what? 1.77 atm. So option A will be the correct answer. Coming to second number, 52 question is in the SN2 reaction of iodide ion with this given molecule, what is the order of decreasing reactivity for the following X substituents? Okay. Fine, we are having some molecule which is CH3 connected with CH3. Here we'll be having what? CH2 connected with what? Connected with X, and we need to react it with what? We need to react it with I negative, okay? And we need to talk about SN2 reaction. SN2 reaction means substitution reaction. So we know that here carbon and X bond being polar, carbon will be bearing what charge? Delta positive. So this will be simply serving as what? This will be simply serving as a nucleophile. So I negative will be attacking here, and when it will be attacking, your X group will be leaving by taking a pair of electron. That's how we will be saying that your X will be serving as a leaving group here, okay? Now ultimately, if you look at the question, we are having 4 options in which X is a different group which is present in the molecule, okay? And now if we are talking about the reactivity of these groups being present in the molecule towards this SN2 reaction, ultimately we need to understand how easily these groups will be releasing from the carbon, or how easily they'll be able to bear the negative charge, or they'll be able to take the electrons along with it, right? So ultimately we need to talk about the leaving group tendency of these groups. Now for the first case, when we are having X value which is OH, and when OH will be leaving, it will be leaving in which form? It will be leaving in the OH minus form. Second case, we are having CH3CO, so it will be leaving in which form? CH3CO minus. Next we are having a CF3SO3 minus, so it will be leaving in what form? S double bond O, O minus, and in the end we are having a CCl3, it will also be leaving in CCl3CO minus. Now if you look at these four leaving group, I hope you can see that this anion is a corresponding anion of sulfonic acid, and in this case this anion is a very good resonance stabilized. So this is going to be what? A very stable anion, means this anion will be releasing very much easily from the carbon, means will be easily substituted. Next in this case also we are having resonance stabilization as well as for the fourth case. And when it comes to the comparison between the second and the fourth, I hope you can see that we are having 3 chlorines, and if 3 chlorines are present here, they will be applying what effect? Minus I effect would be there, which will be making your anion even more stable. So can I say that your third anion will be most stable, then you will be having your fourth one, then you will be having second one. And if you look at this OH minus, in this case the negative charge is simply localized on the oxygen and is not having any resonance stabilization. So first stable anion will be what? A third one, then fourth one, then second one, and then first one. And depending on this only, they will be it will be deciding the leaving group tendency. Okay, so what answer or what option will be the correct option here? A third greater than fourth, greater than second, and last may greater than first. So in order to deal with this question, you should just have the basic understanding. Your I negative is attacking on the carbon, and if different leaving groups options are there, you just need to talk about their leaving group tendency or their tendency to take up the electron pair and release in the form of some stable anion in the solution. And this is how the D option would be coming. Next we are having chlorobenzene on fusing with the solid NaOH followed by acidification gives. Okay, chlorobenzene is this only. Chlorobenzene on reaction with what? On reaction with NaOH. I hope you must be remembering there is a Dow's process, which is a simple textbook based reaction, which is for the formation of phenol from the chlorobenzene. And as we know that when we will be treating it with NaOH, you will see that high temperature pressure will be required, because ultimately we will be talking about substitution OH minus serving as a nucleophile and doing substitution at benzene carbon, which is a difficult reaction. Okay, so you will be requiring high temperature pressure condition in order to do this. And when you will talk about the substitution reaction, initially what we will be getting? We will be getting benzene connected with OH, but we know that phenol hydrogen is acidic in nature, so in the basic medium ultimately it will be existing, or it will be remaining in what form? O minus form, which is the phenoxide form. And if you truly want to get phenol, what you will have to perform next? You just simply do some acidification, means just simply provide some H plus, and ultimately it will be giving us what? It will be giving us OH, which will be your neutral phenol. So again textbook based reaction. So I think C option is only given as a phenol, so phenol will be the correct answer. Pretty straightforward. Coming to 54 number, we are having identify X and Y in the following reaction. Okay, we are having C2H5Cl plus KCN giving us some X product. After hydrolysis, we are getting a Y product. Okay, and we need to choose one option out of this. So when it is C2H5Cl means CH3 CH2Cl is there, we are reacting it with what? KCN. KCN means you are having K positive and you are having Cn minus ionic compound. Now the idea is when it comes to carbon chlorine bond, as this bond is polar, so carbon will be bearing what? It will be bearing delta positive charge, and ultimately you are having Cn minus. So Cn minus is a nucleophile, it will be attacking at the electrophilic side. And your chlorine, right, halogens, they are a good leaving group, as they can easily bear a pair of electron or a negative charge. So Cl will take a pair of electron and will leave in the form of what? Will leave in the form of leaving group, and your Cn negative will simply serve as what? It will serve as a nucleophile. So it's a normal nucleophilic substitution reaction, and it will be ultimately giving us what? CH3 CH2 C triple bond N, and it is going to be your X product, followed by we are doing a hydrolysis. Hydrolysis means, let us suppose I am taking H plus and the water. So if we'll be doing hydrolysis, we know that after complete hydrolysis of C triple bond N, it simply gets converted into what? COH. So what will be getting? Propanoic acid. And let me tell you, in previous year also, like so many times this kind of question has been asked. Like they will give you some alkyl halide, they will ask you to do attack from Cn negative, and as Cn negative itself is containing carbon, so once Cn will be forming, they might ask you to reduce it with some LiLH4 and getting converted into amines, or they will ask you to do hydrolysis with which Cn will gets converted into COH. So you started with 2 carbon alkyl halide, but you are coming to what? 3 carbon carboxylic acid. So you can increase the number of carbon by taking Cn as a nucleophile, and understanding is pretty simple. Electrophile, nucleophile, leaving group, so normal substitution reaction followed by hydrolysis. So 54 question, we will be having a D option as a correct answer, because in that case only X is Cn compound and Y is COH compound. Coming to 55 number, we are having vinyl chloride reacts with HCl to foam. Here we will be having one little correction. Vinyl chloride reacts with HCl to form a major product. To form major product. Okay, vinyl chloride. First of all, we people should be knowing some famous compounds common name, right? For example, vinyl chloride. Let us suppose some people are knowing, or some students are knowing the reaction, but they do not know the common name of the reactant which is given, so they won't be able to attempt. So I always suggest to remember the famous common names at least. So when it comes to vinyl chloride is this compound CH2 double bond CH connected to the chlorine, means chlorine connected to this ethene chain, okay. So chloroethene, this is our vinyl chloride. We need to talk about what? We need to talk about reaction with HCl, and I hope you can see that in this vinyl chloride we are having a alkene bond, right? Means we are having this pi bond which will be responsible to give what? They give electrophilic addition reaction. So here also we need to talk like that. HCl, it will be providing what? It will be providing H plus. So your pi bond which serve as a nucleophile, it will be attacking to the H positive. Now it will be just a second. Now it will be depending, right? If this pi bond is attacking onto this H positive, if this carbon will be taking hydrogen, this carbon will be getting what? Positive charge, and if this carbon will be taking up the hydrogen, other carbon will be getting positive charge. So there will be two possibilities for the formation of carbocation, and the very first possibility, let us say the terminal carbon is taking hydrogen and this carbon is bearing a positive charge and is connected to the chlorine. Next time, let us say terminal carbon is getting positive charge and middle carbon is getting connected to what? It is getting connected to the hydrogen. So there are two possibilities for the formation of carbocation. Now as we need to understand which carbocation will be more stable, because that will only be forming with the faster rate and will lead to the formation of the major product. So as we are having chlorine groups here, we know that chlorine, they do apply minus I and plus M type of effects, okay. So when it comes to chlorine being present here, it will be applying some minus I effect, and here also minus I effect would be there, right. But when it comes to this carbon which is bearing positive charge and it is connected to what? It is connected to the chlorine which is bearing lone pair. So here chlorine, it will also be able to provide plus some effect to the carbon, means ultimately you will see this carbocation will be comparatively more stable than what? It will be comparatively more stable than the second carbocation, and finally it will be reacting with the Cl minus as a nucleophile, and ultimately it will give us what? It will be giving us 2 chlorine on this carbon, which is nothing but 1,1 dichloro. What is this compound? 1,1 dichloroethane. This will be coming as what? This will be coming as a major product. Okay, so what will be the correct option here? The correct option will be A. So again, if I need to give the key points about this reaction is, first of all, write the reactant and then understand the type of reaction. It's an electrophilic addition reaction. See which case it leads to the more stable carbocation, which will finally lead to the major product formation, the first one, and will give us what? 1,1 dichloroethane, which is given in the first option. So yeah. Next we are having 56 number, which reaction is correct in the conversion of chloroform to acetylene. Okay, and chloroform to acetylene, and let me tell you it is again a pretty straightforward, like a textbook based reaction. So in this case, what happens when we take chloroform to CHCl3 and when we react it with 6Ag, you will see it will be forming what? It will be forming CH, triple bond CH, and along with that, what does it give? It gives us 6AgCl, 6AgCl, and this is your ethyne or acetylene. Okay, so a pretty straightforward reaction. The correct option will be what? 56 number. Correct option will be D only. Coming to next number 57, which halide will be least reactive with respect to hydrolysis? Okay, we are having example of 4 alkyl halide. Again, you are having some common names of the alkyl halide, and if you remember it, like then it's better. Okay, so vinyl chloride means you will be having what? CH2 double bond CH connected to Cl, and next we are having allyl chloride. Allyl chloride means we'll be having CH2 double bond CH connected to CH2 and Cl. Next we are having ethyl chloride. Ethyl chloride means CH3 CH2 connected with Cl, and D we will be having what? We'll be having a tertiary butyl chloride. Now we need to talk about, for all these 4 compounds, their reactivity towards hydrolysis. Now the idea is you must be knowing and you must be understanding in this case of vinyl chloride, as there are chlorine lone pairs and it is connected to adjacent pi bond, their lone pair will be involved in what? It will be involved in resonance, and if it will be involved in resonance, this particular bond will be having what? It will be having a DBC. DBC means it will be having double bond character, and that's how it will be whenever you are talking about substitution at this carbon. It will be difficult to break this bond or releasing your chlorine in the form of Cl negative, because this bond will be having what? Double bond character. Also, let us suppose this vinyl chloride giving you SN1 kind of substitution, then SN1 it will be making what? It should be making carbon positive, and now if you look at this carbon will be what? Sp carbon, and Sp carbon bearing a positive charge, it will also be very less stable, and that's the reason this vinyl chloride, because of the double bond character of this carbon chlorine bond, and also it can't give us SN1 type or SN1 type of reaction. So basically vinyl chlorides are what? They are less reactive towards nucleophilic substitution. And coming to allyl chloride, in this case this carbon will be bearing a delta positive. They give us better SN1 and SN2 reaction. Same way here also a good SN2 type of reaction will be there. Here good SN1 type of reaction will be there. But vinyl chloride will be what? They will be less reactive towards what? Less reactive towards substitution. And here we are talking about hydrolysis, right? So they will be least reactive towards hydrolysis. So correct answer will be what? Correct answer will be option A. Rest all will be having more reactivity towards hydrolysis. Coming to 58 number, we are having for the reaction capital A giving B capital B, and we are having one equation log of minus dA by dt giving is equal to log dB by dt plus 0.6020, then A is to B is. Okay, so the reaction, general reaction is given A capital A giving us what? Giving us B capital B, and some log equation is there. Now if you see here in the log equation we are having some minus dA by dt dB by dt, so it's like we just need to think about like as we write the rate in terms of dA by dt and dB by dt. So what we can do here, we understand 1 upon A, it will be what? It will be minus of dA by dt, minus of dA by dt, it will be equal to what? 1 by B minus, just a second, 1 by B, you will be having what? dB by dt, dB by dt, where minus dA by dt is nothing but rate of disappearance of what? Rate of disappearance of A, and dB by dt will be what? Rate of appearance of B. So as the time will be passing, A will be getting converted into the product, so A will be getting consumed, so its concentration will be decreasing and B concentration will be increasing. So this is rate of appearance of B, B will start appearing, this will be rate of disappearance of A, and this is how we write. Okay, now what we can do, we can take A towards other side. So what will be having a minus dA by dt, it will be giving us what? A by B, and here we will be having what? dB by dt. Now as they have given a log equation, so for log equation what we can do, we can take log both sides. So we will be having a log of minus dA by dt, right, is equal to what? Is equal to log of A by B plus log of dB by dt, log of dB by dt. Now as we are also coming to very similar equation, so if we'll be comparing the given equation with the one which we are getting, so I hope we understand here log by B should be equated to what? It should be equated to 0.6020, and if this 0.6020 is coming log of A by B, and further in order to solve this is a final calculation which we are doing 0.6020. so if we try to understand, this value could be written as 2 into 0.3010, where 0.3010 is nothing but log 2. So this overall will be written as what? Log of 4. It means A by B will be what? A by B will be equal to 4 only. So ratio of A by B is coming 4. Okay, so what will be the correct answer here? Correct answer will be 4 only. And for this question, if I need to summarize, like what would be the key point to understand the question is some general reaction is there. We know how to write this 1 by A minus dA by dt is equal to 1 by B. This is a basic idea, and followed by we just need to manipulate this equation in such a way so that we can make some similar equation which is given, right? So by equating we'll be getting log A by B. Further it is more of like simplifying things, and A by B value will be coming what? It will be coming 4. That's how a question should be done. Okay, so first important thing is seeing the question and understanding how we can manipulate some given terms and getting to the answer. Coming to next number 59, we are having the ratio of rate constants at 27 degrees Celsius and 37 degrees Celsius is Q10. What should be the energy of activation of a reaction for which Q10 is given 2.5. Okay. So some general reaction is there for which they are providing a ratio of the rate constant at two different temperature, which is nothing but Q10, and we need to find out we need to find out energy of activation. Now you just need to remember what is the formula which basically relates your rate constant ratio with the activation energy and the temperature. There is one formula, very famous one and very easy also. We'll be having ln K2 by K1 is equal to what? Is equal to EA by R. Here we'll be having what? 1 upon T1 minus what? 1 upon T2. Okay. Now if it comes to K2 by K1, K2 by K1 is only the ratio of the two rate constant at two different temperature, which is Q10, for which the value is given 2.5. So it is nothing but ln 2.5, and here what will be having EA only we need to find out. R value will be taking 8.314, and here will be having 1 upon T1. What's the first temperature given? 27 degrees Celsius, so it will be 300 in Kelvin, and here it will be what? 310. And now ln 2.5 you can convert it into 2.303 log 2.5, and in order to solve this equation you will be requiring what? You will be requiring a log 2.5 value, which again we will be providing you. Okay, and when you will be solving this complete calculation, it will take some time, but EA value you will see it will be coming around 71 kilojoule, like 70.8 something it will be coming. So the correct option will be what? Correct option will be 71 kilojoule. Again, whatever EA value you will calculate, you will see some big value will be coming in joule, and I hope you can see in the options, right? All of them are in kilojoule, and anyhow it won't be matching, so simply you will be converting joule into kilojoule. So correct option will be coming A. And again, by seeing the question, try to understand what could be the formula relating the given information and apply it, so you will be getting the answer, but you will be requiring log 2.5 for this. Next we are having at 518 degrees Celsius, we are having the rate of the rate of decomposition of a sample of a gaseous acetaldehyde initially at a pressure of 363 torr was 1 torr per second when 5% had reacted, and 0.5 torr per second when 33% had reacted. The order of the reaction is, okay, some temperature is given and we are talking about decomposition of a gaseous acetaldehyde, some initial pressure is there, and later they are talking about two rates. One is when 5% had reacted and another rate when 33% had reacted. So acetaldehyde means we are having what? CH3CHO gaseous, it will be dissociating into some product which is CH4 gaseous plus CO gaseous. Okay, CH3CHO giving us CH4 plus CO. Now we need to talk about two rates. Just for solving this question, just imagine we are starting with initially T is equal to 0, and let us suppose we are starting with 1 mole of acetaldehyde. Okay, so T is equal to 0 may if I am taking 1 mole of CH3CHO. Now tell me if when 5% had reacted, the rate is given as 1 torr per second, right? 5% had reacted means how much will be left? How much will be left? 95%, and 1 ka 95% will be 0.95 mole, and as we know that rate of the reaction will be simply directly proportional to what? The reactant ka concentration, and here we can say the reactant ka moles ka directly proportional it will be, and so can I say that rate will be what? Rate will be directly proportional to your CH3CHO ka amount, right? So rate of first experiment when we are having 5% had reacted, so rate of first will be directly proportional to let me take rate of first will be directly proportional to what? 0.95, and let us say raised to power m, right, where m is nothing but order with respect to what? Order with respect to CH3CHO. Ultimately we are looking for the order of the reaction, no? So rate first it is given what? It is given 1 torr per second, which is directly proportional to 0.95. Same way rate at the second time is what? When 33% 3% had reacted. So how much will be the concentration, or how much will be the mole that time? 33% had reacted. So it means 67% is there at that time. 67% means you will be having what? 0.67 raised to power what? Raised to power m. So rate 1 will be directly proportional to 0.95 power m. Rate at the second time it will be directly proportional to 0.67. And now if I will be dividing rate 1 by rate 2, I will be getting what? I will be getting 1 divided by 0.5, and here what I will be having 0.95 divided by what? Divided by 0.67, and here we will be having power m. Okay, so when I'll be solving it, here 0, 5 to 10, here we'll be having 2, and here we'll be having 0.95 divided by 0.67 power m. Point will be cancelling out, and 95 by 67 simply would be coming 95 by 67, it will be coming 1.41 raised to power what? Raised to power m. And now if I need to get the m value, it will be simply coming what? I'm sorry. M value will be simply coming 2, means the order of the reaction with respect to acetaldehyde is 2 only. 1.41 square will be 2. So correct option will be A option. Again, for this question, what will be the key points for this question? They are talking about some gaseous acetaldehyde, and it is getting like decomposition reaction we are talking about. So CaCO is converting into some product, and we need to talk about how will be the order with respect to acetaldehyde. And in order to find if we need to find out the order, we are having 2 rates at 2 different time. First case mein 5% had reacted, so 95% is there. Second case mein 67% is there. So rate will be directly proportional to that amount. We are writing the 2 relation, and when we'll be dividing rate 1 by rate 2, it will be simply coming what? This relation 2 is equal to 1.41 raised to power m, and m will be coming 2. So A would be the correct answer. So you can start with 1 mole, and you can write the expression more conveniently. Okay, just a second guys, let me have some water. Okay, next question we are having question number 61. The following results were obtained during kinetic studies of the reaction 2A plus B, giving us some products. And we are doing 3 experiment here, and in this experiment we are having initial concentration of both the reactant A and B, and initial rate of the reaction is given, and we need to talk about the time in minutes which will be required to consume half of A. Half of A means ultimately we need to talk about half-life. So the idea is if we need to find out half-life, we must be knowing the order, then only we can apply the formula. So for that we need to see the experiment and coming to the order of the reaction. Okay, so if you look at the experiment 1 and 2, what we are doing, we are keeping the concentration of A same, and we are changing the B concentration. And when you look at the initial rate, the rate of the reaction is not changing, it is remaining intact. So it simply means that the order with respect to B reactant, it is basically 0. So whatever order of the reaction will be there, it will be with respect to A. So can I say that the rate would be simply what? It will be K rate constant into A power, right? A power some M will be there, right? Rate is equal to K A concentration raised to power M, where M will be what? M will be the order of reaction with respect to A. Okay. Now if we are understanding this, now in order to find out m, what we can do, we can take help of first and third experiment. First experiment mein we are having concentration 0.1 and the initial rate is 6.93 into 10 to the power minus 3. Third experiment mein we are having 0.2 as our initial concentration and we are having rate as 1.386. So can I write it like this? Rate of first experiment is equal to, rate of first experiment is 1.386, so it will be K. Initial concentration is what? Initial concentration is 0.1 raised to power m. Next may will be having a rate of rate of third experiment, which will be equal to what? K into 0.2. K into 0.2 raised to power what? Raised to power m. We are already knowing rate 1 and rate third of the experiment. So if I will be dividing rate 1 by rate third, what I will be getting? I will be getting 1.386 into what? 10 to the power minus 2 divided by what I will be getting? 6.93 into what? 10 to the power minus 3. K will be cancelling out. Simply it will be coming what? 0.2 divided by 0.1 raised to power what? Raised to power m. So it will be 2 raised to power m, and here also when we will be solving it, 0.693 into 10 to the power minus 2. Okay, and once you will be cancelling out, it will be coming 6. Okay, it will be coming twice only. Okay, so when you will be cancelling out, you will see 2 is equal to, this will be 2 raised to power m, which simply tells you m ka value, it will be simply coming 1. Means the order with respect to CH2CHO sorry, CH2CHO, I am saying my mistake, rate order of the reaction or order with respect to a reactant, it will be coming what? It will be coming 1. Means it's a first order reaction, and if we are already knowing it's a first order reaction, for first order reaction, what's the expression of T half-life? T half-life will be what? It will be ln 2 divided by K, which is K means rate constant only. So next thing is we need to find out rate constant, and rate constant finding is also easy only. You can take help of any one experiment. Let us say I am taking help of first experiment. First experiment rate is what? It is 6.93 into 10 to the power minus 3. K is your rate constant which we are looking for, and we are having 0.1 raised to power what? Raised to power 1 only, because 1 is the order of reaction. So it is 10 to the power minus 1, 10 to the power minus 3. So K will be simply coming what? 6.93 into 10 raised to power minus 2. So it is your K value. And now if we will substitute the same here, ln2 is 0.693. These are the basic value like we generally remember, and K is what? 6.93 into 10 raised to power minus 2. When you will be simplifying it, okay, down 10 minus 1 up 10, and here when it will be cancelling out, you will be getting overall, you will be getting 10, right? So answer of T half will be what? T half answer will be 10 minutes only. Okay. So when it comes to this 61 question, generally this particular topic will be discussed in the very much initial classes of the chemical kinetics. Whenever we introduce a rate law and order of the reaction, generally this kind of experiment based questions are discussed, right? In which we'll be having some initial concentration of the two reactant with respect to one reactant. You will see sometime order will be coming 0, and like that only we'll be able to find out order of the reaction with respect to the different reactant. Same we have done. We have taken the help of the initial concentration and initial rate, and coming to this conclusion ki rate will be equal to K A raised to power m, and by taking two experiments, as we know that K and K will be cancelling out and other values are given, so we can find out m value. If m value is known, we can apply the formula for T half, for which will be requiring K. And now if you know rate, you know m value, it is easy to find out K. Putting it here, we'll be getting 10 minutes, right? So pretty easy question. Just you need to take the help of the data which is given in in this way. Okay, so B option would be the correct answer. Coming to 62 number में we are having 50 ml of 0.2 molar ammonia solution is treated with 25 ml of 0.2 molar HCl if pKb of ammonia solution is 4.75. The pH of the reaction, the pH of the mixture will be. Okay, let us try to understand what exactly is given. We are having some ammonia solution, we are having HCl. Ammonia solution means we are having what? NH4OH, and along with that we are taking what? We are taking HCl, and some amount is provided for both. And we know that when NH4OH, it's a weak acid, this is a weak base, this is your strong acid. When these both will be reacting, what it will be giving us? NH4Cl, and along with that what will be coming? Water. Okay, also if we need to write, like we know that Cl negative will be just a spectator ion, so if we write the reactive species, it will be NH4OH reacting with H plus coming from this HCl will be giving us what? NH4 positive, and here we'll be having water. Now we need to understand how much amount of both the NH4OH and HCl is given. So it is 50 ml of 0.2 molar. 50 ml of 0.2 molar means 2 by 10, 10 millimoles of NH4OH is there. And how I am saying this 10 millimoles, that also let me quickly explain in brief here. When it comes to molarity, molarity is equal to number of moles divided by volume. Molarities of the NH4OH solution is 0.2. Here we are having a number of moles divided by volume. Volume is 50 ml, so we'll be putting 1000 here, so moles will be what? It will be 0.2 into 50, 10 into what? 10 into 10 raised to power minus 3 moles. So either you can go with 10 into 10 to the power minus 3 moles, or you can just simply be in more convenient manner, you can just take 10 millimoles. Okay, so here what I am writing, I am writing 10 millimoles. Next means same, if I need to find out for H plus you are having 25 ml into 0.2 to 2, it will be coming 5 millimoles. Here we are having 5 millimoles. Now when these both will be reacting, 5 millimoles will be getting consumed. How much will be left for NH4OH? It will be 5 millimoles. And here how much NH4 positive? It will be 5 and 5. Okay, now the idea is if you look at the final after this reaction, what we are left with, NH4OH. NH4OH is nothing but your weak base, and another thing which we are left with is NH4Cl, right? NH4Cl, which is what? Which is a salt of weak base and what? Weak base and a strong acid. And now you better know a solution of weak base plus salt of weak base and strong acid, it is nothing but what? It is a basic buffer solution. What it is? It's a basic buffer solution, and for this basic buffer solution, although there are long derivation which are discussed in the classes, but we are having one formula, we'll be coming to one formula which is for POH. So ultimately they are asking about the pH of the mixture. So for this basic buffer we are having a POH formula, which is PKB. POH is equal to PKB plus log of salt concentration divided by what? Divided by base concentration. When I say salt concentration here, means I am referring to NH4 positive concentration. Okay, if we'll be putting this in the formula, PKB, what is given in the PKB? 4.75 plus log of S by B. Now tell me S by B, NH4, how many millimoles are there? 5. NH4OH is also 5 millimoles. Matlab these two will be same. 1 log 1 0 means ultimately what will be getting? POH will be coming 4.75. And please see in this case they have given this D option में 4.75, but see carefully, they are not talking about pOH, they are talking about the pH of the mixture. So pH of the mixture will be simply what? It will be simply 14 minus 4.75, so it will be coming what? It will be coming 9.25 only, 9.25. So what will be the correct option? Correct option here will be coming B. So again, for the 62 number, if I need to talk about the key points, see, two solutions are provided, ammonia solution NH4OH, and we are having HCl. Always try to understand how much quantity is given. For one we are having 10 millimoles, and for HCl we are having 5 millimoles, and when they both are reacting, they are making a solution. And now it's very important to understand this, the nature of this solution, because it is a basic buffer solution, and for basic buffer you need to know the formula, which is POH will be giving us what? PKB plus log of S by B, where those concentrations or those moles are equal, so pOH will be simply PKB, and for that pH can also be calculated. So question is simple. It's just that like after seeing the amount of the two species or the two solution, you need to come up with the conclusion ki okay, this formula should be applied, because sometimes if they are giving you some like whether they are giving you strong acid, strong base, and how much amount is given, whether complete neutralization would be there, all those things you have to see. So go with this type of calculation, will be getting to the right answer. Next we are having, out of the following, the compound whose water solution has the highest pH. Okay, has the highest pH means all of these compounds, if we will be making a water solution out of this, which one will be the most basic solution? So if you look at if you look at option A में we are having NaCl, which is a salt of strong base and strong acid, right? So it will be a kind of neutral solution, so it won't be the answer here, okay? Also in this case we'll be having a Cl negative in the solution. Cl negative is a conjugate anion, it's a anion of strong acid HCl. As HCl is a strong acid, Cl negative will be a very weak base, right? So NaCl solution will be almost neutral, okay? Next, if you look at C option में we are having NH4Cl, which is a salt of strong acid and weak base, NH4 like NH4OH and HCl salt it is. So ultimately it will be what? It will be acidic in nature, and it won't be the correct option. Also again Cl negative will be there, which is a conjugate anion of HCl. So it will not be a strong base, so the solution won't be basic here, okay? Coming to D option में we are having NaHCO3. NaHCO3 में we are having what? HCO3 minus, and this HCO3 minus, what will be the conjugate acid of this? It will be H2CO3. H2CO3 is comparatively a weaker acid, so HCO3 will be what? It will be a good base, and that's the reason your D will be a good, like D will be a basic solution only, okay? But if you look at B option में the corresponding anion which is given is what? CO3 2 minus, and CO3 2 minus has one conjugate acid which will be what? It's CO3 minus, and as we know that H2CO3 is a weak acid, HCO3 minus is even a weaker acid, and if it is a weaker acid, CO3 2 minus will be what? It will be a very good base, right? It will be a good base, and when you will be putting it in the water, right, it will be making a basic solution having highest pH, okay? So the correct answer here will be what? The correct answer here will be option B, okay? Next we are having question number 64, in which it's asking pOH of water is 7 at 298 Kelvin. If water is heated to 350 Kelvin, which of the following should be true? Okay, so pH of water is given 7 at 298 Kelvin. Water dissociation we need to talk about. So water, it will give us what? H plus and OH minus. Now we know that if we'll be increasing the temperature, dissociation of water will be what? It will be increasing. Dissociation of water will be increasing. Ultimately you will see OH minus concentration will also be increasing, and if OH minus concentration will be increasing, it means POH. POH is equal to what? Minus log of OH minus. So ultimately POH will be what? It will be decreasing. So what option should be the correct option here? A. Like just conceptual based problem, like increasing the temperature, dissociation will increase, and ultimately POH is going to decrease only. Okay, so correct option will be A. Coming to 65 number, 65 number में we are having some reactant, and arrow में we are having NBS. Okay, and we need to talk about the major product A. So it's like some of the student might not be able to recognize what exactly is NBS. That's the reason, right? Whenever I teach in classes, I make sure that, or I tell this in the classes, it's very important to understand what's the reactant, what kind of behavior it will be having, and what will be the like what's the reagent, and then only if you understand these both things, then only you can talk about product. And in order to do the questions in the exam, you must be able to recognize first, then only you will be coming up for the answer. Okay, so in this case we are having NBS. NBS is a short form for N-bromosuccinimide, which has this form, which has this structure, N-bromosuccinimide. So when we'll be having NBS and we'll be providing any heat or light, you will see this NBr bond, comparatively weaker bond, it will be breaking and it will be giving us Br radical, and along with that what it will be giving us, it will be giving us N radical. And now whatever this Br radical will be there, it will be doing a free radical mechanism, and will be kind of doing the bromination for your reactant. Although there will be a big mechanism, but overall idea is this Br radical will go through, or will take a free radical mechanism. And now you need to understand what hydrogen will be there in this reactant, which could be easily replaced by the bromine. It will be the one in which if hydrogen will be removed, it will be making a more stable radical. Okay, so if you look at this reactant, we are having this hydrogen which is connected to this carbon. This hydrogen, when it will be removed, you will see what kind of a radical we will be getting. We will be getting this as a radical here, methyl. This place में a radical will be coming. Now this radical will be getting resonance from the benzene ring, as well as it is a 3-degree radical, as well as it is a 3-degree radical. So it will be a stable radical, and if it will be a stable radical, it will be leading to what? To the formation of the more like major product, in which bromine will be coming and connecting to what? Connecting to this carbon, and it is clearly visible in the A option. So the correct answer of the major product will be what? It will be A option. Again, for this the key point is just try to see what is the reagent given, what kind of mechanism it takes. It will be free radical mechanism, so look for the site of reactivity in the reactant, and yeah, the answer would be coming. Next we are having question number 66. Calculate the amount of NH4 twice SO4 in gram, which must be added to 500 ml of 0.2 molar ammonia to yield a solution of pH 9.35. Okay, so in this case we are having one compound which is ammonium sulfate, NH4 twice SO4. We are adding it to the ammonia solution, NH4OH, and to yield a solution of pH is equal to 9.35. So try to understand the nature of the solution. we are going to add NH4 twice SO4 into what? Into NH4OH solution, and we need to talk about how much how much amount in grams we will be adding of this ammonium sulfate to build or to give a solution of pH 9.35. So again this is your weak base, and this is what? This is your salt of strong acid and weak base. So this is nothing but what? A basic buffer solution, right? What it is? It's a basic buffer solution. So again we'll have to apply the formula for this, and for this solution pH is given, so we can easily come to the POH, and POH formula will be what? POH formula will be a pKb plus log of salt divided by here if I talk about salt, matlab NH4 positive concentration. So let me directly directly write it over here. NH4 positive divided by base. What is the base here? NH4OH. Okay, NH4OH. Now if I need to write POH, pH is given 9.35. So 14 minus 9.35, it will be 4.65 pKb means what? Minus log of 1.78 into what? Into 10 raised to power minus 5. Here we'll be having what? Log. And coming to NH4 positive concentration, which is simply coming from where? It is coming mainly from the NH4 twice SO4. And let us suppose, like, as we are not knowing how much gram we are adding, so let us suppose some A millimoles of NH4 NH4 positive we are taking. Okay, so A millimoles divided by what's the volume? We are having 500 and divided by what? Divided by NH4OH. We are having 500 ml of 0.2 molar. So 500 2 by 10 okay, 100. So it will be 100 divided by what? 500. Volume will be cancelling out, and we'll be getting A by 100. Now in order to solve this, we must be providing you a log of 1.78 into 10 to the power minus 5. For now, let me just use the calculator, and let me write down the value here. It is coming around minus 4.749. So minus we'll be writing plus 4.749. Here we'll be having what? Log of A by 100, and here we are having what? 4.65. Now when we will be we will have 4.749 minus 4.65. It will be coming around 0.1. Okay, 0.1. So minus 0.1, it will be on this side, and here we'll be having what? Log of A by 100. And when I'll be solving it further, what I will be getting? I will be getting A by 100, 10 raised to power minus 0.1. It should be coming around it is coming around 0.7943. So A will be simply coming what? 79.43. Now you need to understand what is A. A is a millimoles of NH4 positive which would be there, and if A is NH4 positive moles, then can I say that NH4 twice SO4 we should be taking A by 2 moles of that. Okay, so NH4 twice SO4 A by 2 millimoles should be taken, then only we'll be getting a solution which will be having pH is equal to 9.35. So now we know millimoles, we can have weight upon like what will be the formula? Weight upon molecular weight of NH4 twice SO4. So it will be 32 plus 32 plus 64 and 28 plus 8, okay, it will be coming 132, and here we are having millimoles. A by 2 means what? 79.43 divided by 2, as it is millimoles, so we'll be having what? 10 raised to the power minus 3. So weight will be simply coming what? 79.43 into okay, divided by 1000, it will be coming 5.242. So you will see the weight will be simply coming what? Weight will be simply coming 5.24 gram, okay, 5.24 grams. So which option will be the correct option here? B option will be the correct answer. So again, if I need to discuss about key points of this particular question, try to understand what are the solutions they are providing you. They are telling we are having some ammonia solution in which we are adding ammonium sulfate, and how much gram should be added to give a solution of pH 9.35. As it is going to make a basic buffer solution, first of all solve this expression for POH by applying the formula. We will be coming to the understanding of how many moles of or how many millimoles of NH4 positive will be there, okay. And if you are getting to know this, ammonium sulfate moles should be A by 2, and if moles are there, then we can simply write down weight upon molecular weight, and weight ka value will be simply coming what? It will be coming 5.24 grams. So correct option will be B option only. Coming to next number we are having question number 67. Question number 67, if 1.8 gram of acetic acid and 0.4 gram NaOH are dissolved in water to prepare 1 liter aqueous solution, the pH of the solution is. Okay, again try to understand the two species which they are providing. Acetic acid means CH3, C double bond OH, and another one is what? Another one is NaOH. When these two will be reacting, what it will be giving us? CH3 COO Na, along with that we'll be getting water. Okay, we will be getting water. Again, Na is your spectator ion, so it will be what? CH3 COOH plus OH minus, it will be giving us what? CH3 COONA plus water. Now in order to understand the nature of the solution and the reaction, we should see the amount which is provided. So for CH3 COOH, it is given 1.8 gram. 1.8 gram, if we will be finding out the moles, it will be what? CH3COOH 60 gram per mole will be the weight. Like it's like very common one, so we kind of remember it. 1.8 divided by 60, so 1 by 10, 3 will be getting 0.03 moles. Okay, we can go with moles here. 0.03 moles, and next we are having OH minus NaOH 0.4, molar mass will be 40, so it will be coming what? It will be coming 0.01, so 0.01 moles are there. Now when this reaction will be happening, it's CH3COH plus OH minus, this will be consumed, this will be what? How much will be left? 0.02 moles will be left. Here 0.02 and here also 0.02 will be there. Now again try to understand after this reaction what we are left with. We are left with CH3COH which is nothing but your weak acid, and next thing we are having is CH3COONA which is a salt of weak acid and plus what? A strong base. So this particular solution, the nature of this solution is what? Acidic buffer, right? It will be making acidic buffer, and for this also we'll be having the formula for the pH. Okay, so if we'll be applying the formula, what we'll be getting? pH is equal to pKa plus what? Plus log of salt divided by what? Log of salt divided by acid. Okay, salt here I means CH3CO minus concentration. pK plus log of salt divided by acid. pKa of the acetic acid, how much is given? It is given 4.72. and here a log salt how many sorry here by mistake I have written, just a second guys, you must have observed this. Here 0.01 mole of both are reacting, so how much will be forming? 0.01 0.01. okay, so log of 0.01 is a CH3CO minus concentration 0.01 divided by what? Acid we are having what? 0.02. okay, 0.02. now this will be coming what? Log 1 by 2 log minus log of 2, so 4.72 minus log of 2. log 2 ka value they are already providing you, and in previous question also we have used this. okay, so 4.72 minus 0.3010. when you will see the option 3 okay, it should be coming around 4.4, so 4.42 around you will be getting the answer. okay, so what will be the correct option here? Correct option will be B. So very similar question, buffer solution only it is making, but for that you need to understand the amount of the two things, acetic acid and NaOH, and after complete like after this reaction what all kind of solution is remaining, for which we are looking for finding out the pH. it is making acidic buffer, for which we are applying the formula pH. okay, and pH only they are asking, so pH will be simply coming 4.42. okay, fine. Next we are having question number 68. Out of these following alkyl halide, choose the one which has a lowest boiling point. Choose the one which has a lowest boiling point. So we are having total 4 options: tertiary butyl chloride, tertiary butyl chloride. Next we are having a tertiary butyl bromide. Next we are having N-butyl chloride. N-butyl chloride means straight butyl connected with the chlorine. And last we are having a tertiary butyl bromide. okay, so total 4 options are given, and now we need to talk about boiling point, lowest boiling point. So as we know that when we'll be having more number of branches in this compound, more number of branches means your molecule will be what? It will be more compact and lesser will be the surface area. So ultimately van der Waals force of attraction will be what? Van der Waals force of attraction will be less only, and ultimately you will see if the molecules will be less attracted to each other, eventually it will be requiring a less temperature to send them into vapor state. So boiling point will be what? Boiling point will be less. So in this first compound, in the second compound we are having more number of branches, and when it comes to compare between these two, chlorine is having a lower mass, so molecular mass of this molecule will be less. Ultimately van der Waals force of attraction and boiling point will be less only. So what shall be the answer? A option should be the answer, and based on this there are few questions in previous year. Just understand this branching point as well as van der Waals force of attraction between the molecules, so eventually answer will be coming. Coming 269 number, just give me a moment, I will just have the water. Next we are having question number 69. At 30 degrees Celsius, Kp for the dissociation reaction SO2 Cl2 giving us SO2 and Cl2 is 2.9 into 10 raised to power minus 2 atm. If the pressure is 1 atm, the degree of dissociation Okay, first of all, let us write down the dissociation reaction of SO2 Cl2, SO2 Cl2 gaseous. It is giving us what? It is giving us SO2 gaseous plus Cl2 gaseous, okay, and for which Kp value is provided, and they are talking about what will be the degree of dissociation, and they are talking in terms of percentage. So in order to deal with this kind of question, what we can do, we can just simply start with like at T is equal to 0, like initially we are starting, let us say we are starting with 1 mole of SO2 Cl2, okay. So you will see at T is equal to T equilibrium, some amount of SO2 Cl2 will be dissociated. Let us say it is X moles out of 1, it will be dissociated. So X of SO2 and X of Cl2 will be forming, okay. Now at T is equal to T equilibrium, I need to talk about Kp. Kp will be what? Kp will be partial pressure of your SO2 Cl2 means product divided by what? Divided by reactant. And also T is equal to T equilibrium, how many total number of moles will be there? It will be 1 minus X plus 2X. It will be what? It will be simply 1 plus X only, okay. So if I need to write the expression for this, it will be coming what? For SO2 X divided by 1 plus X into capital P. Here also it will be coming what? X divided by 1 plus X into capital P divided by what? Divided by 1 minus X divided by what? 1 plus X into capital P. This would be coming, okay. Now after simplifying, P, capital P is the pressure, total pressure at equilibrium, 1 plus X will be cancelling out, and what will be getting here? Will be getting X square divided by 1 square minus X square into capital P, where pressure is given as 1 atm. So Kp will be simply coming what? Kp will be simply coming X square divided by 1 minus X square. Now they are already telling you to assume 1 minus X square is equal to 1, okay. If it is equal to 1, then Kp will be simply coming what? It will be coming X square. And what is the Kp value? Kp value is given 2.9 into 10 raised to power minus 2 is equal to X square. And this is the final thing which we have to solve. So for this, what we can do, ultimately X will be given as 2.9 into 10 raised to power minus 2 raised to power half. So you can see like 2.9 raised to power half, okay. So what we can do, we can just take the approximation, like 2.9 you take it as like 3, so 3 power half, right, root 3 value, like we kind of remember 1.73 into 10 raised to power minus 2 raised to power half. So it will be what? It will be 10 raised to power minus 1. So what will be coming here? It will be coming 0.173. This is what? This is 0.173, the moles which is dissociated for SO2 Cl2. Now you tell me, we started with 1 mole, and out of this 1 mole, 0.173 mole has been dissociated, means around 17.3% of the SO2 Cl2 is dissociated. So what will be the answer here? Answer will be correct option will be C when we are talking in terms of percentage. Again coming like for the 69 number, if we need to talk about key point, we are having some dissociation dissociation reaction for which Kp is provided, means they are asking you to talk about equilibrium here. So for equilibrium, as you are not knowing any initial thing and they are talking about degree of dissociation in terms of percentage, you start with 1, you write down this Kp expression, solve it like simplification they are already asking you to do, and after solving X you can talk in terms of percentage, okay. So it will be coming around 17% of SO2 Cl2 will be dissociated. Fine. Next we are having 40 ml of 0.1 molar ammonia solution is mixed with 20 ml of 0.1 molar HCl. What is the pH of the mixture? And pKb of ammonia solution is 4.74. Again, 2 solutions are being provided, and this kind of question we have done in the starting. I am not remembering the question number here, okay, but we have done this we have done the similar pattern, no. So we are having ammonia solution, so NH4OH is there, we need to react it with what, HCl. It will be giving us what, NH4Cl plus water. So as we know that Cl minus is just a spectator ion, so we'll be having what, we'll be having NH4OH plus H plus. It will be giving us what, it will be giving us NH4 positive and water. Coming to the understanding of the nature of the solution, we should see the amount which is provided, okay. 40 ml of 0.1 molar, so 1 by 10 means 4 millimoles. Now you must be understanding how I am saying 4 millimoles. So here we are having 4 millimoles of NH4OH and 20 into 0.1, 1 by 10, so 2 millimoles of what, 2 millimoles of H positive. And when this reaction will be done, it will be getting consumed, will be left with what, will be left with 2 millimoles. And here 2 has been consumed, so 2 and 2 will be forming. Now you can see that we are left with what, we are left with NH4OH which is what, which is your weak base, and along with that we are having what, we are having NH4Cl which is a salt of weak base plus what, strong acid. So what's the nature of the solution here? The nature of the solution is a basic buffer, right? We are having what, we are having basic buffer, and for basic buffer we know that how to apply the formula, right? So we will be having POH which will be equal to what, PKB for your base. PKB plus log of salt means NH4 positive concentration here divided by what, divided by your base which is NH4OH. Now I hope you can see that for both 2 millimoles and 2 millimoles same number of moles are there, so this value will be 1, 0, and POH will be simply equal to what, PKB, where PKB value is 4.74. and now if you are knowing 4.74 as a POH, but they are not asking about POH, again see A option may they are giving you 4.74, so don't be in hurry, read the question carefully, then only there will be chances of getting the correct option or getting 4 marks, okay. So POH is 4.74, the pH will be simply what, 14 minus 4.74 which will be 9.26. This would be the correct answer. So in this also same 2 solutions are there. Try to understand the final nature of the mixture applying the formula. We have already done this question earlier, just different values, and we are getting the answer. Next we are having question number 71. How many of the following processes can give alkyl halide? Okay, we are having total 4 options: CH3, CH2OH plus HCl, zinc Cl2. Next we are having propane plus Cl2, UV light. Third we are having, likewise we are having fourth. If we look at the first option mein we are having CH3, CH2OH reacting with HCl, zinc Cl2, and this is nothing but your Lucas reagent, and we know that in this case you are having carbon delta positive connected to OH, and this zinc Cl2, it simply makes your OH as a better leaving group. So ultimately when this reaction happen, your Cl will be attacking and will be getting what, CH3 CH2Cl. It's a very famous reaction, and based on this we are having Lucas test also, okay, to find out whether the alcohol will be 3 degree, 2 degree and 1 degree. So this reaction is like a feasible reaction, and we see this. So first option is absolutely correct. Coming to the B option. B option mein we are having a CH3, a CH2, a CH3, and we are reacting it with what, Cl2 in the presence of light. This is nothing but your photohalogenation reaction. Photohalogenation reaction, very much famous and kind of favorite reaction for this NTA people, okay. Photohalogenation, and it simply goes through what, a free radical mechanism, and free radical mechanism, if it will be following, we are having two types of hydrogen. If either this hydrogen can be replaced by the chlorine, substituted substitution reaction, or this hydrogen can be replaced. So you will be getting total 2 products, one chloropropane and 2 chloropropane. Means ultimately this reaction will be used for the preparation of, or it will be providing us what? Alkyl halide. So this option is also coming here. Coming to the C option, C option mein we are having C2H5OH, CH3, CH2OH reacting with what? Reacting with NaCl. NaCl means Na positive, Cl minus. Now although we understand we are having a carbon delta positive connected to OH and Cl negative, it can come and attack as a nucleophile. But now if you look at the leaving group here, leaving group is what? Leaving group is OH, and we know that OH minus is not a great leaving group. It's a poor leaving group at this sp3 carbon, and that's the reason this reaction does not proceed like this. And also if you want to perform this reaction, better you do this reaction in what? Acidic medium, because in acidic medium OH will be leaving in the form of what? Water. So it will be a good leaving group. Then only this reaction will be providing you alkyl halide. So the C option won't be giving alkyl halide. Coming to D option mein we are having what? CH3COAG plus Br2CCl4. It's Borodin-Hunziker reaction. It is also a name reaction. So given in the syllabus, so ultimately it will be giving us what? It will be giving us alkyl halide. Br2 in the presence of CCl4 is a solvent. It also follows free radical mechanism, gives us CH3Br plus AgBr and plus CO2. So this D option would also be counted. So how many will be giving us alkyl halide? Correct answer will be 3. Correct answer will be 3 for this. And for the C option, we have discussed it also in the starting of the paper, right? OH minus when it was there as a leaving group, it's not that great leaving group. Okay, the reactivity would be less. Coming to 72 number, we are having a benzene connected to CCl3 reacting with one equivalent of Br2Fe, giving us some A. Position of bromine with respect to CCl3 in A is, okay, see the reactant. We are having a benzene connected with CCl3. We are reacting it with what? Br2Fe, one equivalent is given. So first of all, Br2Fe, if it is given, this is a reagent, and in the reactant side you are having benzene. We know that benzene gives electrophilic aromatic substitution reaction, and this reagent is used in that for doing what? For doing bromination. Okay, for doing bromination. And now, as already there is one group present in the benzene, it will be deciding which particular position a bromine electrophile will be coming, and this CCl3, it's an electron withdrawing group, minus I group. So it will be what? It will be meta directing in nature. So when it will be reacting with this bromine electrophile, it will be giving us what? It will be giving us benzene connected with CCl3, and here meta position mein bromine will be coming. So with respect to CCl3, what's the position of the bromine? Here it will be 3 only. It will be 3 only. So reaction is like it's not a very difficult question. It's discussed in 11th standard only, like during electrophilic aromatic substitution reaction. It's just that you should be knowing what reaction, the nature of reaction we need to understand. The reagent is used for bromination. Understand the nature of the directing group as it is meta directing. So position of bromine with respect to CCl3, numerical value, it will be 3 answer. Coming to 73 number, 73 we are having the half-life period and initial concentration of a reaction initial concentration of a reactant in a reaction are as follows. What is order of reaction? Okay, for the question we are having a initial concentration as well as we are having a T half-life, and we need to talk about order of the reaction. Generally sometime they will give you the order of the reaction, you will have to find out T half-life, and for that we just apply corresponding formulas. Okay, now if initial concentration concentration is given and T half-life is also given, we need to talk about order of the reaction. So what you do, just take one general reaction. Let us say we are having A giving us what? Giving us some product, okay. Now let us say this is some nth order reaction, and for nth order reaction, if we try to understand about T half or half-life period, it will be directly proportional to what? Initial concentration of the A reactant raised to power what? 1 minus n, where n is the order, like I'm talking about nth order reaction. This is a relation. Fine. Now we are having 2 T half-life, 3 T half-lives are given at different initial concentration, and we can make use of any two, okay. So T half-life at first, in the first experiment, it is given what? It is given 425, at which concentration it is given 350 concentration of the reactant. Next T half-life, second time it is given what? 275, at what concentration it is given 540, okay, 540. Now what we can do, if we are knowing the relation with respect to initial concentration, we can just simply divide T half-life second by T half-life 1, okay. So what will be having, T half-life 1 is 4, T half is 425 divided by 275, it should be equal to the ratio of initial concentrations, which will be 350 divided by what? Divided by 540, 350 divided by 540 raised to power 1 minus n. Now in order to solve the value of n, we shall take log both sides. We will be having what? Log 425 divided by 275, it will be equal to what? 1 minus n log of 350 divided by 540, 0 cancelling out. And now when for solving this question, we will have to provide you these log values, and afterwards only you will be able to find out n, right. And in this case, when this log values will be provided, you will see n ka value will be coming 2, okay. N ka value will be coming 2, so numerical value answer will be 2 only here, okay. So in this case, if we need to talk about key points, it's just that they are asking about order of reaction. So just take any nth order reaction. We are writing down T half relation with the initial concentration, and they are also relating the two terms only, and based on that I am dividing the two T half life, applying log, and finally getting the answer, which is 2, okay. So answer will be 2 only. Next we are having question number 74, dissociation constants of CH3COOH and NH4OH in aqueous solution are 10 raised to power minus 5 if pH of CH3COH solution is 3. What will be the pH of NH4OH? Okay. Again two solutions, like two things are given, acetic acid and NH4OH. Although if I want, I can just simply tell you verbally, right, what would be the answer of this question, but let us write a few things and trying to understand it in better way, okay. So we are having acetic acid and NH4OH in the aqueous solution. There will be some little correction in aqueous solution of same concentration, having a same concentration. So if you are having a CaCOH solution and NH4OH solution having same concentration and the dissociation constant, and for which dissociation constant is given also, if pH is given for one solution, we need to find out pH for the second solution. So let us consider the dissociation of CH3COH. It will be giving us what? CH3COO minus plus what? It will be giving us H positive. Now let us say T is equal to 0. T is equal to 0. We are having a C concentration at T is equal to T equilibrium. We are having C minus C alpha. Here we will be having a C alpha. And at equilibrium, if I will be writing K, in terms of concentration, what will be having? C alpha into C alpha, it will be C square alpha square divided by what? Divided by C minus C alpha. When we will take C common, C will be cancelling out, will be getting what? C alpha square divided by 1 minus alpha. Now as we know that your CSCCOH is what? Weak acid, and it should be understandable. CSCCOH is weak acid, so for this 1 minus alpha will be approximately equal to what? 1 only. So K will be simply coming to what? It will be coming C alpha square, okay. And now we know H plus concentration will be what? C alpha. So here from here alpha is root K by C. So H plus concentration will be what? Root K by C. C alpha, no, so it will be root I'm sorry, root Kc. H plus concentration, they are telling you pH of the acetic acid solution which is 3. So H plus concentration will be what? 10 raised to power minus 3, and root of Kc, K is given 10 raised to power minus 5 into C. So if we will be doing a square 10 raised to power minus 6, 10 raised to power minus 5, so C will be simply coming what? It will be coming 10 raised to power minus 1. Now the idea is we need to talk about pH of the NH4OH solution. So as it is given in the question, NH4OH is also having same dissociation constant, having same concentration, so alpha will be same. So can I say that when NH4OH will be dissociating, NH4OH will be dissociating, what it will be giving us? NH4 positive plus what? Plus OH minus. So in this case also what concentration will be resulting? C alpha and C alpha. As we know that they are having same concentration, same dissociation constant, alpha will be same. So can I say that C alpha will also be what? C alpha will also be your 10 raised to power minus 3 only, as it is there in the acetic acid solution. So it will be 10 raised to power minus 3. So POH will be simply coming 3, and pH of the solution will be what? 14 minus 3, it will be coming 11. It will be simply coming 11. So very basic idea, two solutions are there, same concentration and we are having same dissociation constant, so ultimately they will be yield, like acetic acid will yield C alpha concentration of H plus, and same will be there the yield of OH minus from NH4OH, so 3, and their POH will be 3, and pH will be what? 14 minus 3, it will be 11. So what will be the final answer? Answer will be 11 only here. Next we are having question number 75. The solubility product of PbI2 is given 8 into 10 raised to power minus 9. The solubility of lead iodide in 0.1 molar solution of lead nitrate is X into 10 raised to power minus 6 mole per liter. The value of X is this. Okay, rounded off to the nearest integer. Fine. So we are having PbI2, which is lead iodide. When it will dissociate, it will give us what? Pb2 positive plus 2I minus. So S and S concentration would be there, S and S, and for which we are having S and 2S will be there, for which we are having a KSP value also. Now we are keeping this lead iodide solution, lead iodide into what? In lead nitrate solution. Lead nitrate means we'll be having PbNO3 twice. It will be dissociating and giving us what? Pb2 positive and 2NO3 minus. What's the concentration? 0.1 molar of PbNO3 twice. So it will be giving us what? 0.1 molar of Pb2 positive and 0.2 molar of what? NO3 minus. Okay. Now as we are having lead iodide and lead nitrate in the same solution, so because of common ion effect, the solubility will be like the S value will be affected. Right now the effective concentration of Pb2 positive in the solution will be what? S plus 0.1, here also 0.1 plus S, but we know that here 0.1 plus S will be approximately equal to what? 0.1 only. So can I write it like this? KSP will be what? Like solubility product will be 0.1 for Pb2 positive, and here will be having what? 2s raised to power what? Raised to power 2. And KSP, what is given? KSP value we are having 8 into 10 raised to power minus 9. Here we are having what? 10 raised to power minus 1, 2s square. 2s square means we are having 4s square. So 4 to 8, 10 to the power minus 1, 10 to the power 8 would be there. And here I need to put 2. And here I will be having what? S square, which will simply give you what? S will be having 2 into 10 raised to power minus 8 raised to power 1 by 2. So 2 raised to power 1 by 2, root 2. Root 2 value is already given, which is 1.41. 10 to the power minus 8 raised to power half. It will be what? It will be 10 raised to power minus 4. This will be the value of S which will be coming. Okay. Now they are asking us to give solubility in some specific expression, which is x into 10 raised to power minus 6. So if I will be converting this into what? This into the same expression will be getting what? 141 into 10 raised to power minus 6. So now x ka value will be what? X ka value will be 141. X value will be what? 141. This would be the answer. Again, if I need to discuss about key points of this 75th number, this is a basic solubility product question in which we are having PbI2, we are putting it in lead nitrate solution. So we are having two like common ion, which is Pb2 positive. So effective concentration we will take, we'll put it in the KSP getting into S value, and S value say they are asking us to give solubility in some specific expression. So X value will be simply coming what? It will be coming 141. It will be coming 141. Let me just quickly check the calculation part, like everything is fine. Cool, we are having 141 as a numerical value answer. So this is about 75 question number. So we are like this is the end of the paper discussion. Thank you so much guys for watching the video. I hope it was helpful also. So yeah, thank you.